Hi guys, my name is Ainsley Marie and welcome to my channel. For today's video, I am going to be trying to break out of my reading slump, y'all. I have not read a book since mid-August, like August 14th, 15th, whatever. It's now November 14th. I have not read a book literally in months now. It's like, I don't even know who I am. I have just been in such a grief rut recently, like finding joy so hard, finding energy, motivation to do things other than just like lay in bed and like rot. Really just miss that escape, and with where I'm at in my grief, I need that escape. So I am just really hopeful and praying that today I get that escape. My grief has genuinely been debilitating this week. I don't know what's wrong with me. I just feel like I hit a wall on Monday because it was the 9-month anniversary for my mom and the 2nd-month anniversary for my grandma, and I just like this whole week I've just like I haven't wanted to do anything. I took today off of work and I'm really excited to just like read and just like relax, honestly. So I got genuinely halfway through Onyx Storm and then I just stopped reading. Of what I've read, half of it was before my mom passed away and then the other half was after, and I just genuinely needed an escape. And then as you can see, I stopped. I'm excited. I'm probably gonna go get a coffee, but yeah, I love you guys. I've read 86 pages since we last checked in. I have not gotten my coffee, but I now officially have 200 pages left in my book. I don't think I'm going to finish it today. Maybe I will, I don't know. My friend did tell me that once she got to chapter 38, she could not put the book down and she just had to just sit and read it, and that's literally where I'm at right now. Things are heating up, y'all. Things are heating up. I forgot how easy it was to just jump in and how incredible and funny all the characters are. Like, I don't know. As weird as it might be for non-readers to hear me say this book genuinely feels like my home. Like, just walking back into this book, I genuinely feel like I'm home. It's now 2 p.m. I think I've been reading for a good hour and I only got 86 pages in, which I feel like isn't that much. I feel like it's like slow, but I'm gonna go get my coffee now. I started reading because I was like, do I even really want to read? Am I gonna be able to read? Like, for some reason I just felt like I forgot how to read. But so I was like, let me read a chapter or two before I go get my coffee. That way I can just know that I know what I'm doing and that I'm gonna want to do this. And I clearly fell right back into reading. Hey guys, so it is now Saturday. I have read not a single page since I last checked in with you guys, and I'm so sorry for that. I have about 2 hours until I need to be on the road to my dinner plans and then my post-dinner plans. But so I had a really good morning. It's like 3 p.m. now, but so I'm going to set aside an hour of reading time. If I can read for an hour, we'll be good. Tomorrow is going to be a fantastically busy day, so I won't have any time to read tomorrow. Monday, potentially have jury duty. I sent in my information and I have not received anything back from them. So the one officer that I've chatted with, he was like, they probably don't need me, but at the same time, shouldn't I just go anyways? I don't know. I'll figure that out. But that's causing me a lot of anxiety, guys. So I'm just going to read my book today and try to get as far along as I can. But so far, no book slump has been beaten. Hi guys, so I finished Onyx Storm on Saturday night. It is now Monday afternoon. I feel so bad having to jump around, but Saturday night I could not grab the camera because I was just in like shock of what the heck I just read. So I really wanted to like process what I had read before jumping on here and giving my like review of the book. I think I'm gonna give the book 4 stars. I feel like this one was probably my like least favorite, and to say least favorite is goofy because I really enjoyed the book. In comparison to Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, I feel like it wasn't my like most favorite, if that makes sense. I actually don't know though, because I did really enjoy this book. The ending was so good. I feel like I didn't like understand the ending because it had taken me so long. Like I probably should have gone back and just restarted the whole book, but I just like jumped right back in. I read like 3 chapters previous to where I had stopped. It was good, but I also like worry if that's like my book slump talking and not like how I genuinely would have felt if I wasn't reading during a book slump. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, how much of this is the book just didn't hit, and how much is it that I wasn't ready to handle the book hitting? So I don't know. I thought it was good. I love those characters. As I mentioned before in this vlog, this book series feels like my home. And Onyx Storm did such a good job of just like continuing that feeling for me. Like I am so excited for the 4th book to come out and be released. I feel like it's going to be so phenomenal. These books are so easy to jump into. It gets a little complicated with everybody's names because there's a lot of characters. There's also a lot of politics, and there's a lot of like magic and signets, and with characters, sometimes they're referred to by their first name, sometimes they're referred to by their last name, and I'm just like, who are you? Like, they'll like walk in and say the last name, and I'm like, oh, that's a new character, and then it's like, oh, nope, that's just Rhiannon, and I totally forgot her last name, so okay, cool, gotta go back and reread this entire scene. So there's like little things like that I'm just like, is that me, like, just being a bad reader, or is that like there being so much going on, I'm like genuinely confused? So I don't know. There's also a lot of different places, and like as much as the map helps, I'm still lost. Call me crazy, I feel like the buildup for Andarna was huge. Like the entire 3rd book was dedicated to this, and I feel like once we finally got to that point, it fell a little flat in my opinion. I don't know if that's just me, but I felt like we had just been searching and searching and searching, and it's like, that's how we got them. Anyway, I found my copy of Skyshade, which is the 3rd book, on my nightstand, or not my nightstand, on my desk, and I was like, I want to read this book. I want to read this book series. And so I feel like that little spark of excitement to read it, I'm going to go where the fire is stoked, and I'm going to read it, and I'm excited. So that's why I'm picking Lark, is because seeing the 3rd book brought me that little sizzle of excitement, and I'm going to chase the sizzle. So, bye. So I ended up just not reading it all until after my Bible study that night. As soon as everybody left, I read for 100 pages straight. I sat it for one sitting and I read 100 pages, which I feel like is a really, really big deal, considering the fact that I have been in a reading slump for so long. So this is huge. This is big. The fact that I have gone from not being able to pick up a book at all to reading a book, reading 100 pages in one sitting, because that is not at all what I was able to accomplish with Onyx Storm. I took several breaks. I read it in one day, practically. I read 80 pages on that Thursday, and then I read the other 200 on Saturday, but I took several breaks in between because it was so much for me. But so I'm defeating this book slump. Slowly but surely I am. I'm 100 pages into Lark. Look at how pretty this is. I took the dust jacket off because I'll mess it up. I'm gonna change out of my work clothes because I wore a really pretty blouse today with some jeans and I want to be comfy. So I'm gonna go change, and then I'm gonna read for the next hour. I'm gonna dedicate to just reading this book, and then I'm gonna go to sleepies because I have the gym at 6:15 a.m. So bye. Hey guys, so I ended up finishing Lark last night. Ignore my voice. I don't know why, but I'm like just losing it. So ignore my voice. Even though I kind of like the raspiness. I finished Lark last night and it was so good. Oh my gosh. I'm giving this book 4 stars. I think it was incredible. Very impressive with the fact that she wrote this at such a young age and she was able to just imagine the world in her head. I know that she's come forward and shared that she doesn't see faces in her mind. She can't it's hard for her to like visualize certain things, and so I'm sure that made writing things a little bit harder for her. So I think description wise she did a fantastic job, considering the I don't want to say it's a disability, but considering the obstacle that she had to fight through. I also loved how fast paced this book was. It was so fast paced. I feel like we were always doing something. We were always finding something out. And I'm sure that I would have been so annoyed by that if I wasn't in a book slump. But because I am in a book slump, I was eating it up. I was like, thank you for giving me everything like the very next chapter. I appreciated that so much. Something got a little bit redundant, but there was so much else going on around that it didn't really like bog me down as much. And I do feel like the writing style and the world building wasn't as strong as it should have been. However, this was her first book. She is a young author, like she's just getting started. And also because I am in a book slump, I feel like if it had been any deeper of writing, it would have been so difficult for me to latch on and understand, and just I did not have the mental capacity to jump into like a very serious world building book. And that was my apprehension going into this book, was, is the world building going to be too much for me? Is this going to put me back into like an even deeper book slump? Like what is going to happen? And I felt like the world building was just enough for me to have to think about it. It was low-key just given to us on a silver platter, and I was like, okay, thanks. I really enjoyed this book. I want to continue the series. And I'm going to. I just don't know when, because my dad and I were driving 3.5 hours tomorrow, and we are doing an audiobook together, and it's not going to be Nightshade, I can tell you that. So that's like my only concern, is like, when am I going to have the time to read these books? I don't know. I think that's going to be it for today's video, because I'm kind of out of the book slump considering how I am excited to read a book starting tomorrow. And I've read 2 books within 10 days, which summer me would have been shocked by the fact that that is what I'm so excited about. But having gone, I think 4 months, I think it was 4 months, having gone 4 months without reading a single book, 2 books in 10 days is an accomplishment, and I am happily going to celebrate that. So, especially when this book, I didn't just read chapters here and there. I read this book in 400-page clumps. I'm not even joking. First time I read 100 pages, second time I read 100 pages, third time I read 150 pages. No, third time I read just 50 pages at Starbucks the other day. And then last night I sat down and I read the remaining 150 pages. So that to me shows that I'm kind of coming out of a book slump, because I feel like whenever I'm in a book slump, it's like, okay, 1 chapter at a time kind of deal. But I could sit and I could read for hours at a time, and it didn't bother me. I'm still struggling to get into books. I also just need to stop scrolling on social media too. So that's half my personal fault and half the book slump. Either way, thanks for coming with me on this journey to beat my book slump. I don't know if I fully beat it, but I definitely think my excitement for holiday reads and everything is outweighing everything else. I love you guys. Please subscribe, like this video. Have a happy holidays, and I'm celebrating with you. Love you. Bye.